Hey, car lovers! Welcome back to ATC Auto, your go-to spot for car reviews, auto tech, and the best stories from the road. Today, we're diving into something iconic, elegant, and truly timeless: the legendary Aston Martin Classic lineup. When you hear the name Aston Martin, it's impossible not to picture grace, power, and British automotive prestige wrapped into one. The name alone triggers thoughts of grand touring, pure craftsmanship, and of course, James Bond cool. The Aston Martin Classic series isn't just about cars, it's about a lifestyle, a statement, and a legacy that has spanned over 100 years. From the earliest models to the timeless DB5 and beyond, each Aston Martin has been designed not just to drive, but to stir the soul. Let's start with design, where beauty meets engineering. Aston Martin classics like the DB4, DB5, DB6, and the unforgettable V8 Vantage were born in a time when cars weren't just machines, they were art. These cars were sculpted by hand with perfect attention to proportion, detail, and flow. The long hoods, short rear decks, and signature front grille defined not only Aston Martin but the entire grand touring segment. The DB5, in particular, became the poster child for automotive sophistication, thanks to its starring role as 007's ultimate ride. The DB5 remains one of the most famous cars in the world. But beyond its movie fame, the DB5 stood tall on its own merit, combining lightweight aluminum bodywork, beautiful Italian-inspired curves, and British engineering excellence. Inside these masterpieces, the experience was just as refined. Real leather interiors, hand-finished wooden dashboards, and analog dials reminded you that you weren't sitting in a machine. You were seated in a work of art. Every stitch, every button, every dial had a purpose, and each component aged like fine wine, earning more charm over the decades. Underneath that stunning design, Aston Martins have always packed serious power. From the smooth, straight-six engines of the early DB models to the brutish V8 engines of the later years, these cars were not built to sit still. They were designed for the open road, for grand tours across Europe, and for passionate drivers who appreciated both beauty and speed. But the magic of Aston Martin doesn't stop at design and performance. Their legacy is deeply tied to motorsport. Success, world-class craftsmanship, and a refusal to compromise between luxury and racing heritage. Aston Martin Classics hold a place in history as one of the few brands that mastered both. Now let's talk about what really sets the Abarth 124 Spider apart: its performance. Under the hood, you'll find a 1.4-liter multi-air turbo engine, a little four-cylinder powerhouse that punches way above its weight class. Producing 168 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque, this small turbocharged engine launches the Spider from 0 to 100 km/h in about 6.8 seconds. Sure, those numbers might not sound like supercar stats, but in a car that weighs just around 1,060 kilograms, the power-to-weight ratio makes it feel lively and agile, especially on winding roads. And then there's the sound. Abarth engineers gave the Spider a specially tuned record Monza exhaust system, so every rev is met with pops, crackles, and growls that make even a short drive feel like a race day. When you downshift and the exhaust burbles behind you, it's impossible not to smile. The Abarth 124 Spider is also a masterclass in handling. Thanks to its rear-wheel drive layout, near-perfect weight distribution, and lightweight chassis, it offers a level of connection to the road that modern cars often lack. The suspension is sport-tuned, but not bone-shaking. It strikes a perfect balance between cornering sharpness and everyday comfort. Whether you're on a mountain pass or a coastal highway, the car feels playful and light on its feet. Steering is precise, giving you confidence at every turn, and the 6-speed manual transmission, oh man, shifts with that perfect mechanical click that makes you want to row through gears just for the fun of it. Safety isn't ignored either. Even though the Abarth 124 Spider leans toward old-school driving purity, it still comes with features like stability control, traction control, advanced airbag system, blind spot monitoring, optional on some models,